Alrighty, Jillian, thank you for reaching out. I see that you're having some problems creating momentum in the sales cycle. You're getting ghosted by some of your accounts, and this is never fun. So I'm going to run you through a quick high-level overview of how you can proceed forward with confidence. So first things first, let's define exactly where you are in the sales cycle. So once you start meeting with your accounts, you are in the discovery phase. This is essentially where you want to be getting as educated as you can about your account, their problems, and trying to piece together if there's a good need that your product can solve. So to do this, you want to be primarily actively listening, have your account speaking more than you are, and asking the right questions. Now, what are the right questions? Well, I'll give you 4 that you should come back to and try to memorize. So let's say you're selling a MacBook Pro. You might ask a circumstances question of how do you like your current computer? You might ask a challenges question of what do you find frustrating about your current device? If they say it's slow, you might ask a consequences question of if you continue to use this slow processing power, how does it affect your team's ability to communicate? And if your product has a good value where it can fix this problem, you might ask a value question and say, well, if you had the latest MacBook Pro with this processing power, how would that affect your ability to work within teams in a remote setting, right? Connecting the value of your product to their needs. As well, another tip that I would give you is to consider key stakeholders. So it's easy to think that the person you're speaking with is the person who's making the decision, but oftentimes this is not true. So let's say you do your research and the buyer you're meeting with commonly meets with IT and HR to make purchasing decisions for computers. Now you also want to be educating yourself on what IT and HR needs, right, to solve their problems so it's a resounding yes from each stakeholder. So let's say for IT, it's more integration through the computers, right? Can the Mac support this? Let's say for HR that they need more productivity and happiness within their employees. Do you have any research on this? And so all of this together, right? Asking the right questions, solving problems, and knowing the stakeholders are going to inform the presentations, which is later on, but when you start educating the account. And so you want to tie all this information in, right? Knowing all this is going to inform exactly who you should target as clearly as you can and solving their problems, right? So you would want to target this to IT, HR, and the decision maker very simply. So I know this is a lot of information. This can take a process of months to years, depending on how complex the product is and how large the sale is. So don't get overwhelmed. You're in the early stages, but this information should really help. And so just before I go, I'm going to leave you with 5 tips that you should remember. So always focus on adding value. Go in with a neutral mindset, so don't expect anything. Be honest, right? So if you see any red flags, then don't leave an elephant in the room. Feel free to open up and talk about it. Don't forget your trial close, right? So at the end of each meeting, how do you feel about proceeding forward, right? Does this seem like a good fit so far? And then lastly, ask for advice from the accounts that you lost, right? This is a great opportunity for you to learn and grow, even though it can be painful sometimes. Thanks a lot, Jillian, and I hope this helps. Good luck.